What's going on? So if you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking about getting yourself a bike, and hopefully this video will help persuade you one way or the other. What's going on? So if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about getting yourself a bike, and hopefully this video will persuade you to go and actually get a bike, because in my opinion, I'm a new rider and I've only had this bike for 3 weeks now, and I can say that it's been a blast. There's nothing like riding a motorcycle compared to, you know, a car, obviously. Yeah, so here's some tips that I'm going to give, and hopefully this will persuade you into buying yourself a motorcycle. So, one, they're extremely fun, and what I mean by that is, you know, the acceleration of a motorcycle compared to a car is unreal. And obviously you probably know that because you probably watched other videos, but you know, that right there is hopefully another helpful tip, as well as being fun. The cornering on a bike is of course different than turning in a vehicle, which is extremely fun. You know, you don't have to just go in a straight line really fast to have fun on a motorcycle. Taking a corner can be fun. Leaning the bike is fun if you know what you're doing. You know, doing it safely. So that's my biggest #1 tip, is that they're fun to have. If you're looking for just a ride out, just to clear your mind or something of that nature, or just, you know, just to have fun, yeah, a bike is the way to go. Tip #2, they're affordable. This bike here, all together with tax, title, and license, was roughly around $11,000. Which isn't bad, not bad at all. And comparative to a car, whereas, you know, you might be paying $20,000 minimum for a car, and 9 times out of 10, you know, that car is not going to be something that you look forward to driving, because it may be a good gas mileage car, something of that nature, but there's no fun in that car. Whereas on a motorcycle you buy, it's fun just to ride, just to get out and ride. And I don't know about anybody, if you've talked to anybody about insurance wise or anything of that nature, but for me, my experience, it's not been that bad on insurance at all. So right now on this bike, my insurance is $57 a month. That's insane. You know, if you're thinking about insurance is holding you back from getting a motorcycle, don't. There's insurances out there that will gladly pay you an affordable rate for your motorcycle, and that's with full coverage. My ride on this bike is I'm leasing it, of course, or financing it, and it's only $57 a month on insurance. And so gas wise, you know, this bike, if I let it get low to close to empty, $12 to $13 at the most, and that's with premium gas, which I would highly recommend if you do get a motorcycle. If any of you are looking at a motorcycle, to use only premium gas, because it helps keep your motorcycle running smoothly. And during those months that you may not be riding it, it helps. The gas is better quality and it won't degrade on you faster. And then say if you just put regular gas that you would in a car or your truck, it'll degrade quicker over time versus having that premium gas that won't. And I would highly recommend that. And like I said, it's $4 to $5 depending on where you live, $4 to $5 a gallon. But you know, 5-6 gallon tanks if you get a bigger bike. Like mine's only a 4-gallon tank, so you know, $12 to $13. So I wouldn't let gas deter you either, because it's great on gas mileage. And another tip, as you've watched so far through this video, free bikers, free waves. There's a community out there of bikers that'll you don't have when you're in a car. Like, you don't go buy a car and then you expect every motorist to go by the way, because they're not worried about you. They don't care about your safety. They're just wanting to get where they want to go. But with bikers, that's a different story. Sure, you have some of those bikers out there that are like that are only worried about themselves, but 90% of the time when you come across the biker, you know, they'll as you notice, salute you the motorcycle wave, which stands for, you know, ride safe, have fun, but ride safe. You'll come across bikers out there that if they see another biker in trouble, they'll stop and help that biker out 90% of the time. Whereas in a car, you know, you may have it 10% of the time, because they're in a hurry, worried about where they're going to go. So getting a bike puts you into a community that cares for one another, more so than like a car or a truck driver or whatever. Those right there are some tips that I would give to whoever is thinking about getting a bike, motorcycle, because they are a different league altogether. No matter if you start on a 400, 600, leader bike, cruiser sport, touring, dual, they're definitely something different, and I would encourage anybody who ever thinks about getting a bike to get a bike, because it's one of those things that if you try it and you don't like it, that's fine. But if you never try it because you don't know, or you're afraid that something is going to cause you not to be able to, you know, that variable can change. And you can, that variable may end up going away, and then you may have lost your chance of getting a bike, or maybe a different situation may come altogether that prevents you from getting a bike, and then you've lost out on that opportunity. And that's something that you'll live with for the rest of your life. And I highly recommend that, you know, you don't do that. Because I would get a bike, start out small. If you want, you know, if you're thinking of, well, I can't pay 11 or higher, a 400cc bike, you know, $5,000-$6,000, or find a used 600cc bike, 650cc bike. They're out there. There's cheaper alternatives out there, and by cheaper, I mean, I don't want to say a cheap brand. Go with a brand that you trust. You know, like Kawasaki's been around for years and years and years. Suzuki, Yamaha, I would go with those three brands off the top of my head. You know, Harley, Indian, those brands, yeah, I would go with them. And you start out with what you feel comfortable with. What I would recommend is going into a dealership, sitting on the bikes, every single bike that you're interested in, and see how they feel, if they feel comfortable or not. You feel more comfortable on a sport bike versus a cruiser. You know, see which of those bikes you feel more comfortable with, which I wouldn't recommend starting out on a cruiser. I mean, not a cruiser, a touring bike, getting at. Those bikes are typically heavier than your sports and cruiser bikes, and maybe too heavy for you to be able to balance starting out with. So I'd recommend a sport bike or cruiser, because those are lighter bikes and those are more manageable. And you know, like, so going through here, as you can see, these views, you know, you feel open, you feel more open than you do in the car. Whereas in the car, you know, you're trapped behind a wall, a roof, a cage, you're enclosed. Whereas on a bike, you're open, there's no enclosure around you. Besides, you know, you're closed in your helmet, or your gloves, whatever it is that you're wearing. To highly recommend getting gear. Wear gear. Don't be someone that doesn't want to wear gear just because you know you don't feel like you need it, because you never know. There may be a day that you might need it. You may crash, and you may have that helmet that, you know, saved your life. I would say that, yeah, bikes are typically more hard, but don't let that prevent you from getting a bike, because, like I said, the fun, and if you take the precautions, outweigh the risks, in my opinion. And if they don't for you, and you're thinking about getting a bike, then you probably don't need to get a bike. If the risk that you have don't outweigh if the risk outweigh the other factors, then I wouldn't get a bike. But if they don't, I would 100% get a bike. And so that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope these tips are helpful, and if they are, leave a like, comment, and subscribe.